check it to make sure. Okay. Yep.
Good morning. My name is Mark Smith, and welcome for joining us today, and thank you for, again, coming in. Universal Unitarianism is a religious tradition that values freedom in religious thought and journey. We uphold the unity of our interconnections, connections to each other, to all of life, and to the precious universe of which we are a part. We welcome you, whoever you are, at this moment and wherever you are in your spiritual journey. For those of you joining us online, let's see. Okay. Please check out our website for more information, uufayetteville.org. For those of you joining us for the first time in person, you'll find a visitor information card in the seat back in front of you. We'd love for you to fill out one so that you can get on the email list and keep you informed of events. Later in our service, we'll have a time where you are invited to come forward and drop a stone symbolizing your joy or concern into our bowl of water. If you have a joy or a concern you'd like to share, we invite you to fill out one of the yellow cards you will find in the seat back in front of you. There's a place on there to indicate if you want your joys or concerns shared, or if you want to be confidential and shared only with the leadership. If you fill out a yellow card, you can bring that forward at that time, and if you are online, you may write your joys and concerns in the comments there at that time, but please note those comments will be public online. If you have a need for hearing assistance, our AV tech, David, can help you with that. Children are always welcome in our service, and there is also a staff nursery as well downstairs if you prefer. Please remember to silence your cell phones as we enter our service. Thank you. I wanted to, for today's service, recommend two works by Thich Nhat Hanh, whom Renee has referenced in the past on the subject of Buddhism. I did want to make a note that I don't consider myself a seriously practicing Buddhist by any means, or a serious student of Buddhism. However, I've had a lifelong attraction to its tenets, which I feel is somewhat parallel to UU, that actually helped lead me here to this community a few years ago. Okay, a few words on Buddhism very briefly, and Renee, please correct me on anything. Buddhists have no core text or book for their central beliefs. In fact, many do not consider Buddhism as a religion at all, but rather the set of practices and beliefs about our lives that does not include the supernatural or a creator. Again, Buddhists do not believe in a God or a creator. Some of their core beliefs include nothing is permanent in the world, all of our actions have consequences, and that suffering is an inevitable part of life. But we have the capacity within ourselves for change. The heart of the Buddhist teaching, wonderful introduction. And again, at any level that you are. Mr. Han, and for years I had just about given up on an introductory work for the vast topic of Buddhism. But Mr. Han has a skill in talking directly to our lives, I feel, and how to find gratitude for who and where we are along the way. Wonderful book. I highly recommend it. Slim work on suffering, no mud, no lotus. I would like to read, in his own words, a few brief words from the preface. We all want to be happy, and there are many books and teachers in the world that try to help us be happier, yet we all continue to suffer. Therefore, we may think that we're doing it wrong. Somehow we're failing at happiness. That isn't true. Being able to enjoy happiness doesn't require that we have zero suffering. In fact, the art of happiness is also the art of suffering. When we learn to acknowledge, embrace, and understand our suffering, we suffer much less. Not only that, we're able to go further and transform our suffering into understanding, compassion, and joy for ourselves and others. One of the most difficult things for us to accept is that there is no realm where there is only happiness and there's no suffering. This doesn't mean that we should despair. Suffering can be transformed. As soon as we open our mouth to say suffering, we know the opposite of suffering is there as well. Where there is suffering, there is happiness. If we focus exclusively on pursuing happiness, we may regard suffering as something to be ignored or that would get in the way. We think of it as something that gets in the way of happiness, but the art of happiness is also at the same time the art of knowing how to suffer well. If we know how to use our suffering, we can transform it and suffer much less. Knowing how to suffer is essential to realizing true happiness. In addition, this is a book illustrating Buddhist temples in Bangkok, done in the late 50s, I believe, about the same time as the celebration of the Buddha's 2100th anniversary. I'll be in the lobby for a few minutes afterwards. If anyone would like to check this out, I highly recommend it. And lastly, a short story on the Buddha's wisdom. And this is from Hermann Hesse's novel, Siddhartha. Once the young Buddha renounced his princely worldly status, he wandered and crossed the river many times. The ferryman, recognizing the Buddha's presence, boasted that he's been working on levitating across the river all his life and is making progress. The Buddha fell silent, then replied, "Why would you do that when you can cross in the ferry for a few rupees?" There he goes.
Good morning. Please join me in the words shown on the screen as we light our chalice today. Love is the spirit of this community, and service is its prayer, to dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and truth, and to help one another. Thus do we covenant together.
Thank you. Thank you, Mark, and thank you, Elizabeth and Steve. Good morning, dear ones. Houston was blisteringly hot in September and August of 2006. I spent several weeks there getting a certification as a meditation facilitator and a yoga instructor. I stayed at one of those extended stay hotels and walked to the studio every day. Just getting there and back to the hotel through the triple-digit heat required a mind of the Buddha. I knew that I wanted to teach yoga. I worked at 2 different gyms here in Fayetteville at that time, and I wanted the ability to teach specific styles. Children's yoga, plus-size yoga, prenatal yoga, among others. Yoga had changed my relationship with my body, and I wanted to give back. The meditation part was just a bonus, or so I thought. I had left the Christian church not long before this and was having big feelings that I didn't know what to do with, and feeling just a little bit orphaned. I was so centered around the church. But what I didn't realize is that I was about to learn how to be centered around spirituality, not just church. I suppose this was a deconstruction from Christianity, even though, to be clear, I'd never felt abused by the Presbyterian Church USA, not at all. Perhaps not as supported back then as a queer person, but never harmed. So I want to be clear. And just, I guess, allowing myself to understand that there was more, a lot more. So during this certification process, there was a lot of yoga, and there was a lot of meditation, and it radically changed me. We started with very short meditations, just a few minutes at a time. And weeks later, on our last meditation day there, we sat in meditation for 4 hours. I didn't think that I could do it, but I've never been the same. I want to tell you about something that happened while I was there, and y'all, it's okay if you don't believe me. If you were telling me this story and I hadn't seen it with my own eyes, I wouldn't believe you. So, I would try, but I wouldn't have believed this had I not seen it. On the next to the last day of meditation, we did 3.5 hours. And there was a venerable Lama of Tibetan Buddhism there to teach us our final lessons in Buddhism. And he had to be like 100 years old. And he did the meditation with us, and I wondered how he was going to be able to make it through that meditation, and I shouldn't have worried about that, because first of all, it was none of my business, and I should have been worried about myself anyway. Midway through that 3.5-hour meditation, I was having monkey mind, and I opened my eyes, and this Lama was off the ground. This man was like glowing. And he was about 6 inches off the ground. We were all seated in lotus position. And he was about 6 inches off the ground, and I don't even know how to explain it, like a halo around him. Literally enlightened. And again, I would not, and I know some of you are like, and then what was she smoking? But seriously, I've never seen anything like it. And I quickly shut my eyes in that moment and wondered if I was losing it. And then I heard my teacher say, in that smooth, lilting tone, "Quiet mind, everyone." It was as though he had heard my brain talking to me. "Quiet mind, Renee," I scolded myself internally. And Buddhism has been one of my chosen paths to personally practice ever since. And I'm really excited to talk to you about it today. I also want to acknowledge that I used several sources today. I know I said this last week too, but I I received a couple of my sources from a woman who loved books, Laura's mom. Really loved books, and this was like one of her things, and these books were purchased in Laura's mom honor. And I also want to thank Mark for sharing special books with us. That means a lot, Mark. Okay, so for our opening hymn, we are going to sing number 1031. It's out of the Teal hymnal, and it's called Filled with Loving Kindness. Y'all, this is a form of the metta practice. There are many, many, many forms of this. Metta means loving kindness. It's many forms of the metta practice, and almost every teacher translates it their own way. And most of the meditation will stay the same, but the subject changes each turn. Here's how I learned it. May I be happy, may I be joyful, may I be free from suffering. May no harm come to me, may no problems come to me, may I always meet with success. May you be happy, may you be joyful, may you be free from suffering, may no harm come to you, may no problems come to you, may you always meet with success. And this goes on many, many rounds until my teacher taught me the last round. He taught this. May all sentient beings born and yet to be born be happy, be joyful, be free from suffering. May no harm come to them. May no problems come to them. May they always meet with success. And I can't help but wonder what the world would be like if everyone put their intention into this and practiced it every day. For this hymn, we will do 3 turns. I, you, and we. I would like for you to listen to me do it once. We're gonna keep our seats for sure, because I want you to be able to practice and like focus on this. But let me sing the first verse to you, and then we will sing the first verse again, and then the second and the third. Okay, Brenda. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. Oh, thank you. That was beautiful. In religious community, we share our joys and our triumphs, our sorrows and our broken places. And we share meaningful moments with each other because we are connected. And our lives are made up of many different feelings and events. In this circle of care, we make space for the complexity of life. We sit with our myriad experiences that bless and break our hearts. We quiet our minds and we listen to the human experience that demands on any given day that we come to the table with hearts in different places. We love through interaction, and it's our interactions that helps us come to know the world and our place in it. Our interactions and our gathering is very important. When we gather and when peace is at the center of that gathering, and when the outcome of that gathering is love, peace, and truth, it makes our world better. Fear and hate cannot thrive where peace and love are the norms. And today we create and hold space for each other. If you have filled out a yellow joys and concerns card, you may bring it up and give it to me and drop a stone in the bowl of water by Mark. And if you don't want to turn in a joys or concerns card, you don't have to. You can simply just drop a stone in the water and watch the ripples move out for a moment. Okay, you can come forward. Brenda, will you offer us some music? David, are there any joys and concerns or milestones on Facebook this morning? No. Okay. Good deal. I mean, not good. You know. Thank you is what I should have said. I want to start out by saying we had an incredible celebration of life here yesterday for Sue Coppernall. It was kind of epic, just like Sue. I've been asked to read her final poem, and I will do that during the offertory spot, right after the offering, and asked to one of the pieces that was done yesterday at her service was Tapestry by Carole King, and so I'll perform that for you. So your order of service is slightly wrong, but not because of Fawn's fault. We just changed it up at the last minute. Okay, so see all these? These are all about the protest yesterday. So I think I'm just gonna, yes, let's do it. Let's do it. Yes. Do you remember last week when I said that it was going to take 3.5%, well, actually, Dr. Chenoweth said it was going to take 3.5% of people protesting to make a difference? Well, we had between 5 and 7% of Fayetteville population out yesterday. I've heard numbers anywhere from 4,000 to 7,000 out protesting in Fayetteville. The paper said 10,000. That's 10% of our population. So this is how we make change. This is how we fight hypernormalization. Yeah, that's what I think too, Sonny. That's right. Yeah. So, dear ones, I am not going to read every card about the protest, okay? Because I feel the same. I think we all, if you're at a Unitarian church, you probably feel the same way, like, wow, about the protest. Yes. Okay, good. Okay. The concern, this is, all of us share this concern. June 12th was the 9th anniversary of the Pulse nightclub shooting in Orlando, and our hearts go out to the victims and families and survivors. This is why one of the many reasons we keep fighting for peace and justice and equality for all. We also share concerns, big concerns about what's happening in Israel and Iran, and what might happen in the coming weeks with that. Mark, let's drop a few stones for the joys and concerns that we hold quietly in our hearts, because we can't share everything. Thank you. And let's drop some more for the joys and concerns that we might encounter until we're together again. Thank you, Mark. All done. Friends, let's meditate together with a mantra. The mantra that I mentioned to you in our opening words that my teachers taught me. And don't worry if our words don't totally match up, like if you change a pronoun or change something, like, don't worry. Perfection is, not only is it not required, it's not desired. Please focus on the words and just allow it to be. There, yeah. Okay, so we're going to do it 5 times. And may I be happy, and then may you be happy, and then may we be happy, and may our world. Okay. Here we go. May I be happy. May I be joyful. May I be free from suffering. May no harm come to me. May no problems come to me. May I always meet with success. May you be happy. May you be joyful. May you be free from suffering. May no harm come to you. May no problems come to you. May you always meet with success. May we be happy. May we be joyful. May be happy, be joyful, sentient beings, born and yet to be born. Be joyful. May all sentient beings, born and yet to be born, be free from suffering. May no harm come to all sentient beings, born and yet to be born. May no problems come to sentient beings, born and yet to be born. And may all sentient beings, born and yet to be born, always meet with success. Thank you. Mark, will you give us the offering words?
Okay. Now it's time for the offering. The important work of this fellowship is possible because of your generous contributions of time, talent, and treasure. Every contribution of every size is helpful and appreciated. As we pass the offering baskets, we invite you to share financially. If you prefer, you may give it at our website by texting online or mailing checks to our office. Will the host please come forward and pass the offering baskets?
Thanks so much, y'all. Okay, what I'm about to read to you is Sue Coppernall's last poem. This was written on, I'm just going to read it as it's written by her, on March 9th or 10th, too sick to know which. Literally her last poem. As the world attempts to burn itself into oblivion, despair seeps into our souls. Caught in a creeping mass psychosis, hope dims, darkness deepens. From where comes the power of the phoenix rising cry from the ashes? She, like all myths through time, is a personification of human attributes and abilities. How can I summon her? Woo. So that was just a few days before Sue passed. And yesterday, we did this song at her memorial. This was her favorite song. Sue did always offer us challenges, and I found this song right challenging. My life has been a tapestry of rich and royal hue, an everlasting vision of an ever-changing view, a wondrous woven magic in bits of blue and gold, a tapestry to feel and see, impossible to hold. Once amid the soft silver sadness in the sky, there came a man of fortune, a drifter passing by. He wore a torn and tattered cloth around his leathered hide, a coat of many colors, yellow, green on either side. He moved with some uncertainty, as if he didn't know just what he was there for, or where he ought to go. Once he reached for something golden hanging from a tree, and his hand came down empty. Soon within my tapestry, along the rutted road, he sat down on a river rock and turned into a toad. It seemed that he had fallen into even though I didn't know him well. Once I watched in sorrow, there suddenly appeared a figure gray and ghostly beneath a flowing beard. In times of deepest darkness, I've seen him dressed in black. Now my tapestry's unraveling. He's come to take me back. He's come to take me back. Didn't that sound like a Sue song? Yeah. Totally, right? Full of magic and depth, just like her. We are gonna run out of time. Okay, all right. So let's just jump in. There are 3 central schools of Buddhism. But unless you study them, you may not recognize their names. Theravada, Mahayana, Vajrayana. And you may be thinking, oh, wait, what about Zen? What about Tibetan? What about Nichiren? Some folks will say that there's only 2 schools because Vajrayana developed from Mahayana. But most say that it's so different now that it's its very own path. And this is where it got super difficult in my writing. How do I pare it down? Because each one of these could easily be its own service. What should I tell you about each of them? How can I be detailed enough but not get into an 8-fold Prajaramamita Asanayama kind of weeds about it? But I'll do my best. But I want to start with is what connects them all. Buddhism is one of the world's 5 great religions, dating back some 2,600 years, but some people say it's longer than that, to its founding teacher, Shakyamuni Buddha. Despite its status as a religion, it might alternatively be considered a philosophy, an approach to psychology, or simply a discipline that can help us live our lives with less stress and more clarity, peace, and interconnection. Buddhist teachings, also known as the Dharma, can be those teachings that are attributed to the historical Buddha. For example, the universally accepted 4 Noble Truths, or the Eightfold Path. But frankly, any teaching after that, not quite that old, so long as they are dealing with the core concept of Buddhism, which is addressing and working with the causes of suffering through key actions and skills like mindfulness and community and meditation and wisdom and compassion and all of these other skills, so long as it works around those things, almost all teachings can be considered Dharma. One of the things I find the most super awesome about Buddhism is that they don't believe one way is any better than the other ways. Novel, right? They all believe in the concept of upaya, or skillful means, which asserts that it's only a positive thing that there are so many different kinds of approaches to Buddhism, because there are so many different kinds of people and different kinds of learning styles. What might work for some might not work for others. But with so many teachings and innovations developing over millennia, there's an approach to the Dharma that's out there for everybody. Okay, let's divvy it up. Theravada Buddhism is focused on preserving the Buddha's teachings found in the Pali Canon, which is the earliest written form of the Buddhist teachings. Theravada is the longest surviving school of Buddhism, and it's commonly believed to be the oldest and most OG type. It is dominant in Southeast Asia, notably Sri Lanka, the oldest Theravada Buddhist country. And it's been influential in the West, particularly through the insight tradition known as Vipassana. That's the one I know the most about, and perhaps the one you also know the most about. It is the most prevalent in the West. It deals with mindfulness and observing the breath and non-judgment, all those types of things. So if you get on YouTube and you search for an English-speaking meditation video, you are 95% going to get Vipassana. Therefore, Theravada. Okay, next. Mahayana. Yana means path or vehicle. Maha means great. So, great path. A primary focus of Mahayana is the Bodhisattva ideal, putting others' needs, including the need for ultimate spiritual realization, i.e. nirvana, before one's own. And what Mahayana Buddhists refer to as the perfection of wisdom. So, others first and the perfection of wisdom. That's kind of the central construct of Mahayana. One of the texts that they use is from around the 2nd century. It's the Prajnamayana Paramita, and that is Sanskrit for the perfection of wisdom. I practiced that word, y'all. I practiced that one. There is actually, I just found this interesting. There's a bit of disagreement on whether or not this was actually a teaching of the eldest Shakyamuni Buddha, but people do accept it as such. Mahayana Buddhism is prevalent in Eastern Asia, China and Japan, and includes types of Buddhism like Zen and Nichiren, and lots of others. And they have many texts. If you ever hear something about the Middle Way or the Heart Sutra, this is Mahayana Buddhism. And now the third. I'm skipping some stuff because I want us to be okay on time. But the third, Vajrayana. Vajra meaning diamond. So diamond path or diamond vehicle. Named this in reference to being indestructible. It's also called Buddhist Tantra or Mantrayana. The use of the term Tantra or Tantrayana signifies the use of yogic practices, visualization, chanting, and other forms of esoteric practice as a means of gaining realization. While mantra in its most basic meaning literally refers to a sacred utterance. Doesn't even have to be a word, like Om, just a sacred utterance, which is chanted in a ritual setting. Its deeper meaning is sacred speech that protects the mind from being distracted. This is why we use a mantra. It protects the mind from the tendency to jump away from the present moment. It holds us here. And I'll also just want to say that since the 70s, the word tantra in the West can have sexual connotations. And while there is a very small set of tantric or yogic practices that are sexual in nature in this form of Buddhism, Vajrayana, they're small, and it's mostly just found in very small sects of these Buddhist cultures called Tibetan Buddhism. The basic principle of Vajrayana is that we all possess Buddha nature, or original self-wisdom. And this form of Buddhism uses cool tricks to bring it out. Uses things like mantra and yoga and things like that. These Buddhists also see, I love this part, see the nature, the true nature or the Buddha nature in the environment and in all living things. You know, you've seen the stereotype of the Buddhist saying that the ant is just as sacred as the human. These are the Vajrayanas. Vajrayana also uses gurus as teachers more than any other form of Buddhism. Like Mark was saying earlier, there is no deity in Buddhism, but there are teachers. Vajrayana first developed in the 5th century India, and it spread in time to Tibet, Nepal, and beyond, into East Asia, Southeast Asia. So it's the smallest, but it's also the most widely spread out. Not as much in the West, but throughout Asia. And truly, I could go on and on and on. I love the topic of Buddhism. And in our world today, I have to say that the most impressive thing to me is that every world religion, and Yuyuism respects them all, every world religion has different branches, different school, but Buddhism is the only one that says they're all good and they're all correct. You could learn from that. Can you imagine if every other sect and other main world religions said that? Everybody's good. We're all good. We're all right. I really wish that was the case. Okay. And let's move now right on to the extinguishing of the chalice, Elizabeth and Steve. Okay, we're going to test each other's memory, and it's going to be great.
Okay, please join me as we extinguish the chalice. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
Dear ones, right now, maybe more than ever, we need extra peace. We need extra love. And I hope today's service will encourage you to dive deeper for that peace and love. Dive deeper into your own mind and heart. That's what the Buddha would say. This community loves you, and I love you too. Namaste.